Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of EuroStep live on YouTube and on EuroLeague TV, your best source of information about Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Today, joining me again is Dane Arlauckas, my co-host and resident expert.
Hola, Sofia. How are you? So nice to be back with you and our guest today.
Exactly, our guest today, that is the second time that she visits us. It's the second time that she's joining us on EuroStep, Hannah Shaw, former GB basketball player. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey guys, it's great to be back. I'm looking forward to it.
Great to have you back. We're also going to have our fourth man, you guys watching. Send us your questions, send us your comments, because you know that we like to read you. We like to see what you think. And, the players are on fire this week. This last week was on fire, so we want to hear your opinions on this last month of EuroLeague to what's next. Also, we have a special EuroLeague discount to offer to you tonight with the code WatchAlong10. Write down WatchAlong10. You can enjoy a 10% off on a monthly or annual pass on EuroLeague TV, excluding Italy or Spain. So if you are in these countries, you cannot enjoy it. But if you're in another country, you can start using it as of now and start enjoying all the advantages that EuroLeague TV offers you. We're gonna be talking about what happened last week, how the playoffs are matching up, and how EuroLeague is on fire. And talking about fire was what happened last week in Palau Blaugrana, because MACCABI Tel Aviv continued the run of form with a spectacular win against Barcelona, 80-104. Making the MACCABI Tel Aviv team scoring the most points on EuroLeague history in Palau Blaugrana against Barcelona. Dane, do you think that they're going to cause an upset in the playoffs?
Oh, well, it's hard to look at this team and the way they've been playing and think that they're not going to at least create some trouble for one of the top four teams in the EuroLeague playoffs. We're still not sure. They still one game to determine where exactly they finish, but I don't care who they go up against. Any one of the top four teams would be a little afraid to go up against this MACCABI team. 5-0 over the last month or so, and really they have been on a resurgence since being given that little shot of light that they were given over a month and a half ago. So this is a team that has been playing incredible basketball. There's no two ways about it. But really, they've been doing it. We talked about this team as a defensive team, but for those first couple wins of this winning streak, where Madrid, they kept them to under 74 points. Milano, they kept them to under 60 points. But now they've been doing it with offense, with 94 points or more in the last 3 games of this 5-game winning streak. So you never know what to expect from Ari Evans' side, but I think he might have heard me saying this is a defensive side and said, wait, hold on. Pump the brakes. We can score and we can entertain. We can play flashy basketball too.
What do you think, Hannah?
Well, exactly what Dane just said. I mean, who goes to Barcelona and puts 104 points up? I mean, it doesn't happen often. It didn't happen ever. So
First
this is incredible.
time in history.
First time. It is incredible. And to do that, and I know, Barca didn't have much skin in the game, but so nice to see MACCABI do that, and I'm so excited to watch them now.
Yeah, well, that was just one team that's still yet to get their EuroLeague playoff positions set in stone. But we've got 6 other teams who have already got their place in the EuroLeague top 8 set. So let's have a look at this. At the moment, it's just MACCABI and Anadolu who can move back and forth. It all depends on that last game against FENERBAHCE for MACCABI. And if they win, they're playing Real Madrid. And if they lose, then they'll be playing Olimpia Milano. But Madrid is a whole other story right now. They're going in opposite directions than MACCABI is. And 8 of their last 10 games they have dropped. What does this mean for Real Madrid's playoff chances here coming up in the next few weeks, Hannah?
I mean, this is crunch time. Are you guys gonna fight? Are you gonna get out of it, or are you gonna explode? Because everybody's looking at Madrid thinking, we don't know which way this is gonna go. So, if, who knows at this point? What is this team gonna do? It's exciting, but I wouldn't bet on them right now. So.
Yeah, I think it's a tough moment for Real Madrid. They could have ended second, but also they could have ended first because they started the season in a very good way. They were the first for half of the season, and they ended in a terrible way. Like, you know that I'm a Real Madrid fan. I'm really upset. The last game against Bayern was kind of like disappointing because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of relaxed in the first part of the game, you know, because they were winning by 20 points. And then when I look at the fourth quarter, I was like, hey, what's going on? They ended up losing by, I think, 9 points, 10 points, which is kind of embarrassing for a team that hold Bayern to 20 points. And I think that right now, Real Madrid is a candy for all the teams in the playoffs because I think any team wants to face this wounded Real Madrid. And it's not a matter of who they will be facing next because any team right now, any team in the playoffs can beat him. We have a comment from Nessie K about MACCABI saying that he or she, I don't know, is sure that they can, but only in spirit, talking about Final Four. And then also a YouTube comment from Oscar Bath saying MACCABI on fire, 100%. We're going to be talking after about MACCABI and how this last week, this last game of the week, the last game of the regular season will affect what Dane was just saying about the standings.
Yeah, and Sofia, you talked about being relaxed in the fights of the Real Madrid game, and I think you weren't the only one. I think Real Madrid relaxed too, and that was surely evident in that fourth quarter. But Real Madrid, they have yet to know who they have to play against in the first round. But there are a couple of matchups that are already set. So let's go to those, and I want to know what you girls are thinking about these opening round matchups of the EuroLeague playoffs. First of all, Bayern Munich and Barcelona. I know you're a big Bayern girl, Hannah. So, what do you think about that one? And then we'll go to the Olympiacos and Monaco series.
I'm fully going behind Germany right now. All of my smart thoughts, they've gone out the window. I'm going with my heart. I want this team to beat them. Who doesn't want an 8 seed to beat a number 1? I mean, this is only the second year they've made it to the playoffs. Yeah, this is what I want. I want this to happen. So come at me. It's fine. I know it's going to be a big ask, but I'm definitely supporting Germany in this one.
Well, I have to say that...
Sofia, tell us what you think about these first round matchups because I want to know your input about the team that you've been seeing as the favorite all year long, even though it goes against your true colors in Real Madrid.
That is what I was going to say. I love that Hannah follows her heart, but I have to follow my brain, my mind, my reason, because I think as of right now, Barcelona is the strongest team on the league. It has proven so in the last games and especially this season. We know that last year they were really close to get the title, and I think this year is the year. So they're not thinking about the playoffs. They're already thinking about the Final Four and about how to win the title. So I think that this playoff game is just going to be bureaucracy, and any team that faces them is just going to be won't make a difference on this strong Barca that we're witnessing. Also talking about Olympiacos and AS Monaco, I have to say that I'm curious to see what happens, because in the first round we saw that Olympiacos took the win, and in the second round we saw that AS Monaco took the win. So I'm really excited to see who finally kicks who out of these Final Four. Obviously, Olympiacos is a strong team and has been a strong team. It's historically, it's been a strong EuroLeague team. It's the first time that they are in the playoffs since 2018. I'm sure Anthony Goods is super happy right now, and but I'm also really excited to see how Mike James performs. I'm going to keep reading some YouTube comments right now from Saji Kurlan saying, Yalla Maccabi, more Maccabi fans. Another from Maria G, I'm here for Maccabi. Go Maccabi. We have a lot of Maccabi fans. I'm sure that if they make it to the Final Four, they'll have a lot of fans there. And also Nikos Siatras, what about Olympiacos? Dane, I want to know what you think.
Well, this is a team, Olympiacos, that they've been our favorites for the last few weeks now. And Anthony, we'll give him his props when we see him, and I'm sure we'll see him again on the EuroLeague. But this is an Olympiacos team that is really taking this opportunity of being back in the EuroLeague picture, being back in the Final Four picture, really. And they're not going to let it go. I think this is too strong of a team. They're a fantastic team at home, one of the best in the EuroLeague, along with Barcelona. I think they have a better Barcelona at home after beating them in the Palau Blaugrana. So this is a side that has a history, and they're looking to make more history in a new era, sort of. And Monaco, you got to tip your hat to them. Their first year in the league, and they go to the playoffs. But we're talking about two different dragons here. You know, this is the legend of Olympiacos with a chance to get back at the Final Four. Monaco, they've had a fantastic year with Mike James, with Alpha Diallo. They've got a great squad, and they've done very well in their debut season. But I think the road to the Final Four ends in the first round for Monaco. I think Olympiacos is just too strong with all the talent. Kostas Lucas, Bezenkov, and Mustafa Fall. So, not having we won't let that pass too quickly, but we will talk about a little bit Mike James. Mike James was a fantastic player over. Yeah, go ahead, Sophia, because this is your part. I don't want to take your job from you.
No. I was gonna say that before we jump into Mike James, you just mentioned Bezenkov, and I have someone supporting you before you even said it on YouTube. Waitman said Bezenkov for MVP. So hey, you have some fans there too.
There you go.
So now, time for Mike James. We have been talking about him a little bit. And in the last game of the regular season that they play at home, Mike James collected his MVP game that he won in March. Last month, he scored a total of 19.8 points, 5.4 assists, and a total of 23.6 PIR. Dana, how important is he for Monaco?
Well, obviously, he is the star of the show for Monaco, and he's a guy who has that pedigree of EuroLeague playoff experience that not a lot of people on that Monaco side have, which everybody's going to turn to him late in the season, especially in the playoffs. But he's obviously that guy that he's like the middle piece of the clock, where if he moves in the right order, then all of the hands and the seconds and the minutes, they all follow suit. And James, at the moment, he's not just being a scorer. He's averaging, what did you say, 19.8 points a game. He can score 20 a game with his eyes closed. Just but really what's impressed me is the way he's not just the team leader in scoring, he's become the team leader now. And that's really what Monaco have needed. And Mr. Natural, he's going to put up those stats like we always know. But right now, he's putting this team on his back and carrying them. And don't be surprised if against Olympics, he might go for 35-40 in one of those games. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
What do you think, Hannah?
I'm fully behind Dane in this. You know, it's nice to see Mike James the leader. You know he's a scorer. You know he is big energy for any team. He's great to have on your side, but it's nice to see him distributing the ball and dragging his team. Not dragging, that's disrespectful, but he is bringing his team up, and it is so, so great to see. It's called the Mike James effect. It's just the meaning of that phrase has changed a little bit over time. So I'm really, really happy with how he's playing right now. Can they beat Olympiacos? I probably wouldn't put my money on it, but I'm going to really enjoy the fight for sure.
That's 100%. I'm sure Mike James is the type of player that any team would love to have. And he was not the only Monaco player that was on the news this last week, because his teammate, Dwayne Bacon, sunk a spectacular monster dunk against his former college teammate, Chris Kumachi. Let's watch it.
Midway point of the quarter, Bacon was free, wanted to get into the lane and hammer home over the top of the tallest player on the continent. Dwayne Bacon just ripped through the ozone layer.
Chris we went to college together, so it's been years since I've been trying to get him, and I finally got him. So I know he's going to be mad about it, but that's my guy, man. He competes at a hard level. We competed at a high level. He competed at a high level. They competed at a high level.
They played 2 years together at Florida State University. Hannah, we know that you've been a professional basketball player. How is it like to get something like this over against a friend or a former teammate?
Hey, I definitely am no dunker, but it is so nice to hit that nice little fadeaway over your teammate, over your friend. Good practice with day in, day out on other teams. You've been together through hard times, and then just to get that nice little win, just jam it home right over them. It is so exciting, and yeah, I bet there was some nice messages sent between them afterwards, maybe some jokes, but yeah, really quality dunk as well.
And before we jump on to see what is the best thing that you could have had on the last round for the FENERBAHCE Challenge, I want to remind everyone to keep posting their questions, to keep posting comments, because we love to know your opinion and we love to know how loyal you are to your team. So now, Dane, let's talk about the best team that you could have had in the last round FENERBAHCE Challenge.
Yeah, so this was the final 5 of the FENERBAHCE Challenge to end the regular season, and Nikola Kalinic almost putting up a triple-double in the last round for Crvena Zvezda in their win over Efes, Anadolu Efes, 10.5 credits. So that was a nice little steal. David Leidy, he's more of a defensive guy. He does everything, all the intangibles, but not really used to scoring. He saved the best for last, scoring 28 points in the final round. That was his season high by a country mile. Onion Yaramaz, my man, tear up Real Madrid in the fourth quarter. And what a season high that performance that was for him. He had what? Let me check my notes here. 19 points on 5 of 6 shooting at 4.7 credits. That was not seen by, I don't even think, the most accurate of psychics coming into the round. And so then, Jan Vesely, we haven't seen him much. The big boy, still going to cost you 14.4 credits, but he also saves some of his best stuff for last with his 20 points and let me check out 7 rebounds. And then my man Papa Giannis, Big Papa, he's always seeming to be on this team of the week for the FENERBAHCE Challenge, Sofia. We see him almost missing. So excellent end of his season for Panathinaikos here, the big boy Papa Giannis. But let me remind you that this is a whole new chapter of this EuroLeague FENERBAHCE Challenge. We're starting from scratch. You got to pick your teams over again. And we're starting the books from zero as we enter the playoffs. It's not just the playoffs for the teams, the final 8 teams in the EuroLeague. It's the playoffs for you guys playing the FENERBAHCE Challenge.
Dane, you were mentioning Papa Giannis. I'm sure that's a player that you would get 100% right in what we're going to talk about now. Because after the success of the online game Wordle, there's a new quiz that tests your knowledge on EuroLeague. Especially, they make you guess a EuroLeague player in 8 guesses. That's what I said, that you would only need 1 to guess Papa Giannis. Hannah, I know you're good at this.
Well, I had a go earlier and I actually got it in 1. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. If you don't believe me, I don't care. I got it.
It's true. It's true.
No, we were there. We're your witnesses, Hannah. I mean, we were there watching the whole time, and so I was kind of unfamiliar with the whole thing, and so we were kind of just like testing out the grounds. You know about this Wordle thing, so you had some experience, but I don't think that matters one bit because you just came out, blurted out one of your favorite players from one of your favorite team, and boom, happened to be it. So we didn't get it on camera. You'll have to take me and Sophia's word for it. We're trustworthy people. We've been here on the EuroStep 10 shows. So if we don't have your trust by now, well, maybe Hannah can help us sell it.
If anyone wants to try, they can head to the website sportstales.net/basketball, and you can try yourselves. You can tell us how it went for you, if you got any guesses. But above all, you can have fun, which is the goal of the game, and obviously, yeah, guess some players. And now let's jump on to our last game of the week, a game that has a lot to say in the playoff matchups, the game between Maccabi Tel Aviv and FENERBAHCE. Yes, we haven't got it wrong. We have shown you the promo of the playoffs because the playoffs are starting next week. But before we jump into that, we have the last game of the week of the regular season, rearranged fixture between Maccabi Tel Aviv and FENERBAHCE, a game that has a lot to decide on the final playoff matchups because after Efes loss and Maccabi's win in the last round, if Maccabi wins, they will face Real Madrid, and if they lose, they will face Milan. Otherwise, if they win, Efes will face Milan, and if they lost, Efes will face Real Madrid. Dane, I'm curious to know what are your thoughts about what's going to happen in the following game.
Well, how strange is it that going into this game, Maccabi has the chance to get prize of the first round, which is talking about Real Madrid matching up against Real Madrid, which is a team that is really strong at the moment. Maccabi, they've been fantastic. So really, this is a game that you might see Maccabi kind of take the load off a little bit. A game that after the season, the regular season has already ended, they might have just wanted to make sure that all their guys are fresh, but that doesn't matter right now. They're going into this game 100%. They're going after the win because they want to play Real Madrid. You can only imagine. But it's not just playing Real Madrid. It's keeping this winning streak going. It's keeping the momentum going that they've built up over the last month and a half. Ari Evan, he's got this team playing fantastic basketball against an inferior opponent who's really not playing for anything. It would be very devastating to them going into the playoffs. But like we said, the real treat here and the real motivation for Maccabi right now is playing Madrid in that first round. And I think they come out, they give it their all. Maccabi against FENERBAHCE only playing for pride. It'll be rocking in the menorah. So I don't think Maccabi put the foot on the brake here in the final round of their regular season.
We have a YouTube comment from Emre E, which says, "What do you guys think about Efes?" I think that that they have, that they have some challenges ahead. I don't know about you guys, but also Hannah, I want to know your opinion on what you think these final matchups will be filled with.
Hey, we've been showing a lot of love to Maccabi on this show today. I mean, we're all thinking this train is rolling, it's going, but yet Efes are only the position below. So we're not talking about this game being a complete blowout at all. This is not a done deal. Yes, momentum is with Maccabi right now, but Efes are still a very, very good team. And you know what? Everything changes when playoffs are involved. And it's going to be a cracking game. Sorry.
So, sorry, Hannah, to cut you off. But, I want to know, Emery, just before we wrap up the show, because obviously we're going to give our predictions and everything. But, Emery, if you're there still commenting on the YouTube, who do you want to play in the first round of the playoffs? Do you want to play Milano, or would you like to play Real Madrid? Because I want to know what the Efes and what the Maccabi fans, we all want to know what everybody's thinking. But let's get back to the show a little bit, girls. And Maccabi, they're on a 5-game win streak, which everybody knows about. They beat Barcelona, they beat Madrid, they beat Milan, and they haven't lost a home members. So we've talked about them being in the playoffs and what it means, but what does it mean historically for the EuroLeague, for the club, and for the game of basketball that these guys are back in the playoffs with a real shot at the Final Four. Hannah, you go first, and I'll kick it over to Sofia.
I mean, we said it's been last time in the playoffs was 2015, and they won the year before in 2014. It is huge for a team like Maccabi to be back in the playoffs with the history that they have. And so nobody's taking that lightly. This is an incredible opportunity for them to be back in the top of European basketball.
I think it's great for such a traditional team like Maccabi to be back on the playoffs. They were last in the playoffs in 2015 and won, this is interesting, and won the Final Four and won the title in 2014 against Real Madrid. So Real Madrid is probably fearing this matchup if they finally meet them or find them in the playoff spot. I think it's great. I think that as we have seen here, they have a lot of support. They have such a tradition in loyalty from fans. So if they end up in the Final Four, I'm sure that all these fans will go with them, and they're gonna be happy that they're back in these. They're happy that they're back in the playoffs, and they're gonna be happier if they're back in the Final Four. Also, there was a big change in Maccabi because they started the season kind of in a irregular way. And they changed the coach back in February, and we saw another Maccabi. They have been extremely motivated to make it to the playoff spots, and I'm sure that they are now motivated to make it to the Final Four because they have won important games against Real Madrid, against Barcelona, against Milan. So I think they're all in. They, like I said, they're motivated, and they have all the reasons to be fighting for the title and for these Final Four spots. I want to know, guys, your predictions before we finish today. Hannah, you go first.
I am going for Maccabi. I know I tried to give some love to FS earlier, but I am going for them. I just don't think that this good run of form is going to stop anytime soon. And so I'm fully behind Maccabi in this.
Yeah, I think that it's Maccabi all the way. Fenerbahce playing for pride, but really nothing else to play for on the line for the Turks. And Maccabi come into this game rolling. We've gone through that all the time. But really, what I've liked about how they've been playing is everybody is pitching in. In the last 5 games, they've had 4 different players finishing with the top PIR of the game. It's been Zizic twice. They had Evans do it against Madrid. They had Derek Williams, then Nunnally last game. So then you look at Scotty Wilbekin, who's their top scorer, and he's been kind of just lying in the tall grass, waiting for the playoffs maybe to explode. But he's getting 13 points a game over that span, and they've got weapons upon weapons upon weapons. And I think Ari Evan is the guy who's put all the pieces together and finally has this team flowing and fluidly playing. But who else is fluidly picking the correct answers is my boy Napoleon Naps. He's on a 3-game win streak. Let's see if he can make it 4 in this week's video. I'm back with Napoleon, who's on a 3-game streak. He's looking for number 4 to close out the regular season. This week we've got Maccabi and Fenerbahce going at it to finish up the EuroLeague regular season. And let's see if Napoleon can finish up on a hot streak. We've got Maccabi, we got Fenerbahce. Last game of the regular season, Maccabi, they're on a roll, 5 in a row. Fener's just playing for pride right now. Who does Napoleon have in the last game of the round of the regular season? Come on, Naps. Who you got? What? He's going with Fenerbahce over Maccabi. Wow, he's going with the big upset. Fener ending the Maccabi streak. I'm back with
Dane, you're back at 50-50 again, so any choice, you'll be right.
Yeah, it's a win-win for me, Sofia, so I'll take it.
100%. It's the first time that guest and host three of us have the same team. I'm gonna go with Maccabi too, for obvious reason, like I said before. So we'll see what happens next week, as we're gonna be back at 5:30 Central East Time, live on YouTube and EuroLeague TV. We're gonna be talking about what happened on this last game of the regular season, and talk about what we can expect about the playoffs. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your experiences and your opinions with us. Dane, also thank you, and see you next week. Also, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, for sending us your comments, questions, for participating and sending us your love. We wait you again at 5:30 Central East Time next week, next Tuesday. And don't forget that we have this special promo code for you tonight, 10% off on a monthly or annual pass on EuroLeague TV with the code WATCHALONG10, except if you're in Italy or Spain. So start using it and start enjoying all the advantages. Also, for more EuroLeague content, don't forget that you can find it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever works best for you. And don't forget that you can also watch our videos on demand on YouTube and EuroLeague TV. Thank you so much, and see you next week. Enjoy the last game of the regular season.